Yes, folks, that is what you think it is. Right before I started skiing, there were about 6 or 7 young deer right near the parking lot. And the snow is covered with their tracks and where they've occasionally broken through the top crust, which is thick enough for the most part to support my weight, even though it's currently above freezing, somewhere around 35 to 37 degrees. Off in the distance through those trees was where I saw, in fact you can almost see them still, some deer moving through the woods. Those were the deer that were by the car when I first pulled up. I had to shut off the camera for a minute because I was about to go down a slight slope, and this snow is so hard I need both hands to be able to control the direction of the skis, because I'm not breaking through the surface and there's no light powder on top because it's been so cold here in the past week. Unfortunately, I'm afraid I might have driven the deer towards the people who are shooting in an adjacent property. They should not be shooting here in the town park. What I am skiing right now is the East Loop Trail here in the Galeville Park. As you can guess, I'm off the trail right now and heading over to the West Loop Trail, bushwhacking as it were. Notice how the bark here is particularly shredded. This is the case of all the cedar trees in the area. Cedars or whatever these are. I think they're cedar. It almost looks on the lower parts like the deer have been trying to eat the bark. They have eaten all the branches off the tree as far as the deer could reach. But it wouldn't surprise me if they were, because this bark seems to be particularly chewed up, even for cedar bark. Okay, I've reached the boundary of the Shawangunk Grasslands National Wildlife Refuge, the border with the town park. This wildlife refuge, it's spelled Shawangunk, but the natives call it Shawangunk. And it used to be the Galeville Air Force Base. And they used to have runways which were torn up this past summer in the wildlife refuge. You can walk on the other end of the wildlife refuge way across the clearing there, but they haven't yet marked out the new trails, and therefore it's closed to the public, unfortunately, this winter. But the town park is open, so that's why I'm skiing in the town park. And I have to go due north to go around this big ravine, because the town park continues over there. But from the wildlife refuge you have great views of the Shawangunk Ridge. Maybe next winter I'll have video from that. A deer stand from when this used to be private property. A birdhouse. I would guess this time of the year no one's at home. They're somewhere down in Florida. Typical snowbirds. Here's the Western Loop Trail. Here's the Western Loop Trail. Okay, this will be a little trickier than it looks. I still remember falling on that one in vertical. Okay, I think I'm shutting off. Okay, this is the bridge over the ravine on the Western Loop Trail. Sounds like the target practice is stopped for the day. Every Sunday morning at a rod and gun club south of here, they have target practice on Sunday mornings and early afternoons. But this is the bridge over the ravine that I didn't cross before. And I can just barely hear a stream down at the bottom under that ice. But this is the boundary of the old Air Force Base. The town park extends a short ways into this field. The trail hugs along the south bank of this creek. And you can see the sun just wants to come out. I spoke too soon, they started shooting again. There's a birdhouse that needs repair. There's the Shawangunk Ridge in the distance. And they put up signposts. You may not be able to see them here. But there's signposts showing the boundary of the wildlife preserve. Those weren't there last year. There are the deer. They were in the park before. I think there's a creek there that they're heading for, plus the cover of the thickets. Oh, there's a lot more. There must be 25 to 30 deer in that field. They all look young, or they look like does. I can't tell from this distance. There's some more in that thicket. The camera right now is on 40 times zoom. Its maximum zoom capability. Those deer are probably a half-mile away, though it's hard to tell distances across a flat field. And as they've all taken shelter, they probably can see me out here at the edge of this field. Plus, I don't imagine they like being exposed out there, even though I'm downwind of them. Okay, the deer that were behind the thicket have now moved along. Seems to be 5 of those. Without a tripod, it's hard to hold this steady enough. looking for something to eat. But most likely they have another month to 2 months before any green grass will show. There's one running. I'm not sure why. Heading back now. Some of them are starting to run, and I'm not sure why. There must be somebody on the other end of the field. They're running slightly towards me, but they're running due east. Last one heading back. They walked very slowly out there, but then they're running back. Nobody's having a picnic there right now. Here we are again. Want to do it again?